Welcome back to the channel Rare Coins All World, Treasure Hunters, and Coin Lovers. Today's episode is something truly special. We're going on a journey, not just through time, but across borders, into the heart of France, to explore a coin that many people have touched, yet few truly appreciate. We're talking about the République Française 10 centimes coin from the year 1997. Now, to most people, a small bronze-colored coin worth 10 centimes might seem insignificant, something that jingles in your pocket, rolls under the sofa, or ends up in a donation jar. But if you know what to look for, this little piece of French currency can reveal a surprising amount of history, beauty, and in some very rare cases, serious value. Let's start with the basics. The 10 centimes coin of France has always held a unique place in the country's coinage. It's one of the smaller denominations, but don't let that fool you. It carries the pride of a nation and the craftsmanship of French minting traditions. The 1997 version in particular comes from a time just before France made the monumental transition to the euro. In fact, 1997 was one of the final years the French franc system was in full swing before the euro's introduction in 2002. That means this coin is one of the last breaths of an era, an artifact from the twilight of the franc. But more than that, it's a representation of a nation's identity, its artistry, and its heritage. Take a closer look at the coin and you'll begin to appreciate its details. On one side, you'll find Marianne, the national symbol of the French Republic. She's not just a figurehead. Marianne represents liberty, reason, and the values of the French Revolution. Her calm, stoic profile is beautifully engraved, with flowing hair that symbolizes freedom and dignity. Her presence on the coin is a reminder of France's enduring commitment to liberty, equality, and fraternity. On the reverse side, you'll find the denomination, 10 centimes, surrounded by a wreath of olive and oak leaves, representing peace and strength. The words liberté, égalité, fraternité are proudly inscribed, reaffirming the core values of the French Republic. For such a small coin, it packs a powerful message, but beyond symbolism and design, what truly makes the 1997 10 centimes coin special to collectors is its rarity and pristine condition, and the presence of a few exceptional anomalies. Most of these coins were mass-produced and heavily circulated. That means the vast majority of them have scratches, discoloration, dents, or general signs of wear. They were everyday coins used in markets, cafés, and shops throughout France. But a very small number, barely a fraction, escaped into the world untouched. These uncirculated pieces, kept in coin sets or carefully preserved by collectors, are incredibly difficult to come by. Even more intriguing are the minting errors. Every once in a while, a few coins are struck with slight flaws, maybe a misaligned die, a weak strike, or an off-center image. These kinds of errors are accidental, but they make the coin extremely appealing to collectors. Why? Because they're rare. Because they're not supposed to exist. And because they make an otherwise common coin into something truly one-of-a-kind. So how do you know if your 1997 10 centimes coin might be valuable? First, examine its condition. If it looks crisp, shiny, and has no visible wear, it might be an uncirculated example. Then look closely at the design. Use a magnifying glass or even your phone camera. Are the letters sharp and evenly spaced? Does the rim look slightly off? Is there any unusual marking or misprint? These tiny clues could mean the difference between a coin worth a few cents and something far more valuable. Collectors and numismatists around the world are always on the lookout for coins like this, especially ones that come from major transitions in currency history, like the years leading up to the euro. And as more of these coins disappear into private collections, the value of rare, high-quality examples keeps rising, which brings us to the big question: what could a République Française 10 centimes coin from 1997 actually be worth? Well, most of them, especially those that have been circulated, won't fetch more than a few cents. That's the reality of common currency. But in those rare, exceptional cases where a coin has remained in flawless condition and features a verified minting error, the value increases dramatically. In one such case, a collector's dream coin, an error-stamped, mint-state 1997 10 centimes piece, was sold in a private transaction for as much as $15,000. Yes, you heard that right. 15,000. For a coin that most people wouldn't even stop to pick up off the sidewalk. So, before you pass off your old foreign coins as junk or sell them in bulk, take a closer look. Especially if you've got a stash of French coins from the 90s. The one you've been ignoring could be far more valuable than you ever imagined. Today's episode. We're heading to France, the land of art, culture, and revolution, to explore a coin that's tiny in value but massive in mystery and potential. This is the story of the République Française 10 centimes coin from the year 1995. At first glance, it may seem like just another small coin, something you'd expect to find rattling around in an old drawer or forgotten wallet. But let me tell you, this humble 10 centimes piece has been catching the eyes of sharp collectors in recent years, and there's a reason why. In fact, several reasons. Let's start by rewinding the clock. The year is 1995. France is still using the French franc as its national currency. The euro is just a few years away, but not quite here yet. During this time, the 10 centimes coin was a common part of everyday life. People used it for bus fare, vending machines, fresh baguettes, and Sunday markets. It was everywhere, and yet, as time passed, most of these coins vanished into circulation, lost, worn out, or melted down. But here's where it gets interesting. The 10 centimes coin minted in 1995 wasn't just a part of daily transactions, it also represented the tail end of an era. Just a few years later, France would officially transition to the euro, and the French franc, along with all its denominations, would be retired from use. That's why coins like the 1995 issue now hold more than just monetary value, they hold historical weight. They are the last breath of the old system, a snapshot of a time before everything changed. Now, let's talk design. The obverse of the coin features Marianne, the national symbol of France. She's not just a face, she's a symbol of liberty, strength, and reason. Marianne has appeared on stamps, statues, and, of course, coins. On the 1995 10 centimes coin, her profile is elegant and timeless, framed by flowing hair and the simple inscription, République Française. On the reverse, you'll see the denomination clearly stated, surrounded by a delicate arrangement of olive and oak branches, representing peace and strength. Just beneath it, the famous national motto, Liberté, Égalité, Fraternité, Liberty, Equality, Fraternity. It's beautiful. It's symbolic. And for many years, it was just another piece of pocket change, but for collectors, the story doesn't stop there. What sets the 1995 10 centimes coin apart is a combination of limited high-quality examples, possible minting errors, and the coin's historical placement right before the switch to the euro. This makes certain 1995 issues extremely desirable, especially when they are in near-perfect condition or have rare characteristics that weren't intended. Imagine this, a coin with a slight misalignment in the strike, or a blank that wasn't properly cut, or one that was pressed with unusually sharp detail. These little differences, though sometimes barely noticeable to the untrained eye, can turn a common coin into something very rare, but perhaps even more valuable than an error coin is one that is completely flawless. A coin that was never used, never scratched, never even touched by human hands. These uncirculated coins, often pulled directly from mint sets or stored in protective cases, are what collectors dream of. When a coin is preserved this perfectly and comes from a transitional period like 1995, its value can skyrocket, and while many coins from this year were circulated into oblivion, a small number were kept safe, stored away unknowingly by people who had no idea they were holding on to a potential treasure. So, what does this mean for you? Well, if you have a 1995 French 10 centimes coin sitting somewhere in your home, now is the time to take a second look. Examine it under good lighting. Check for details, sharpness, shine, condition. Are there any signs of errors? Does the surface gleam like the day it was minted? Is it dent-free, scratch-free, almost untouched? If so, you might be holding something truly special. And now, the part everyone's been waiting for. What could a small bronze coin from 1995 possibly be worth in today's collector market? We've seen examples of these coins, particularly those in mint state condition or with confirmed minting errors, go for hundreds, even thousands in auctions and private sales. But among them, one especially rare specimen, preserved in flawless uncirculated condition and featuring a subtle mint variation, has reportedly been valued and sold for as much as $17,000. Yes. 17,000. For a 10 centimes coin that many people overlooked, gave away, or simply forgot about. It just goes to show, in the world of numismatics, size doesn't matter. What matters is history, rarity, and the passion of collectors who are always searching for that one special piece. Today, we're unlocking one of those stories, one that begins over half a century ago in the heart of Europe, during a time of great cultural and political change. We're traveling to France, and we're zooming in on a coin so small, so ordinary, that you might never guess the secret it holds. This is the fascinating tale of the 1969 République Française 10 centimes coin, a piece of currency that has recently stunned collectors with its beauty, rarity, and shocking value. Now, at first glance, this coin doesn't look like much. It's light. It's small. It was once worth barely more than a few cents. In 1969, this little coin would have bought you a newspaper, a metro ticket, or maybe a piece of bread. But in the hands of the right collector today, it could be worth more than a brand new car. How? That's what we're about to uncover. Let's step back for a moment. The year is 1969. France is going through a major shift. Charles de Gaulle has just resigned as president. The country is navigating a new political landscape after the May 1968 protests rocked its foundations. It was a time of reinvention, reform, and change. In the midst of all this, life went on. People went to cafes, bought groceries, took their morning train rides, and they used coins like the 10 centimes every single day. The 10 centimes coin of 1969 might seem like just a piece of that everyday life, but it's actually a miniature time capsule. A relic of France's economic and cultural resilience during a transformative era. The design of the coin is both elegant and powerful. On the obverse, you'll find Marianne, the eternal symbol of the French Republic. She represents liberty and reason, a modern echo of the ideals of the French Revolution. Her image is strong, calm, and proud, looking toward the future with confidence. It's a portrait not just of a woman, but of a nation moving forward. Turn the coin over, and you'll see the reverse, an intricately detailed arrangement featuring the denomination 10 centimes surrounded by olive and oak branches, and inscribed with the famous words, Liberté, Égalité, Fraternité. That phrase isn't just decorative. It's the philosophical foundation of the French Republic, and its presence on the coin reminds us that money in France is more than just a tool of trade, it's a reflection of national values. But what makes the 1969 edition so interesting to collectors today isn't just its beautiful design or the moment in history it represents. It's something more elusive, its rarity, condition, and the possibility of unique minting characteristics. You see, coins from the 1960s were made in large numbers, but they were also used heavily. And the more a coin is handled, the more it wears down. Most of the 1969 10 centimes coins have scratches, dents, and discoloration from decades of circulation. But a few, just a few, have been preserved. These are the coins that were never used. Maybe they were part of a collector's mint set, or tucked away in a drawer for safekeeping. Whatever the reason, these coins remain frozen in time, shiny, uncirculated, and incredibly rare. Even more valuable are the ones with minting errors, coins that left the mint with a flaw, an off-center strike, a die crack, a doubling of text or image, or even a planchet error where the coin was stamped on the wrong metal. These kinds of errors are often tiny, almost invisible unless you're really looking, but to collectors, they're worth their weight in gold. So how do you know if your 1969 10 centimes coin is one of the rare ones? First, look at the condition. If the coin still shines, with no signs of use, that's your first clue. Next, examine it carefully for anything unusual, irregular shapes, misaligned letters, or strange textures. Finally, check if it's part of a known error variety. And when in doubt, get it appraised by a professional numismatist, because here's where things get truly incredible. While most 1969 10 centimes coins are still only worth a few cents, a rare few, those preserved in flawless condition or bearing confirmed minting anomalies, have caught the eyes of major collectors and auction houses, and in one remarkable case, a pristine, uncirculated example of the 1969 République Française 10 centimes coin, combined with a rare minting error, was privately sold for an astounding $27,000 yes. $27,000. For a coin once worth less than a stick of chewing gum. It just goes to show, in the world of rare coins, it's not always about age or gold or silver. Sometimes, it's about the story behind the coin. The condition it's in. The moment in history it captures. And most of all, the rarity that turns an ordinary object into an extraordinary treasure. So before you dismiss that jar of old foreign coins sitting in the attic, take a closer look. Because one of them, maybe even this humble little 10 centimes from 1969, might just be the find of a lifetime. Thanks for watching, and if this video opened your eyes to the hidden world of coin collecting, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and tap the bell so you never miss the next rare discovery. Until next time, keep searching, keep learning, and who knows? The next coin in your hand might be worth more than you ever imagined.